The Whispers of Wisdom, 10 Stoic Secrets to Guard in a Noisy World. In a world saturated with constant communication, where every thought, feeling, and aspiration seems destined for immediate public consumption, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a radical counterpoint: the power of silence. Not a silence born of fear or repression, but a deliberate, discerning quietude, a careful curation of the self that shields our most vulnerable and valuable aspects from the corrosive effects of external validation, envy, and distraction. Imagine a world where words are currency, and restraint is a virtue. Where the echoes of gossip and the clamor of ambition are muted by the strength of inner conviction. Where the pursuit of genuine fulfillment trumps the fleeting allure of fleeting desires. This is the world the Stoics envisioned, a world built on the bedrock of self-awareness and governed by the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. In the original video, it was suggested that some things are better left unsaid, echoing the very core of Stoic wisdom. Great kingdoms and rulers have crumbled not through armies or treachery alone, but through the careless dissemination of a single, ill-chosen word. This introduction lays the foundation for a journey into 10 key areas where Stoic philosophy advises us to exercise caution and discretion, transforming us from mere reactors to thoughtful actors in the grand theater of life. It asks us to consider, are we truly masters of our words, or are our words, in fact, mastering us? The first secret, as highlighted in the video, concerns our relationship with wealth and possessions. Stoicism isn't about poverty, but about perspective. It recognizes the transient nature of material goods, their susceptibility to market fluctuations, natural disasters, and the simple entropy of time. The core message, as Marcus Aurelius articulated, is to not value or desire material possessions, emphasizing that the wise man dwells on wisdom, not on gold. To constantly boast about our wealth, to parade our acquisitions like trophies, is to invite envy and cultivate a culture of dissatisfaction. It's a performative act that ultimately detracts from genuine fulfillment. In today's world, where social media platforms amplify the allure of consumerism, this Stoic principle is more relevant than ever. We're bombarded with images of luxury lifestyles, carefully curated to elicit feelings of inadequacy and desire. The pressure to keep up with the Joneses, or rather, the Kardashians, is relentless. But the Stoics remind us that true wealth lies not in what we possess, but in who we are. It resides in the strength of our character, the clarity of our intellect, and the depth of our compassion. Think about it, how often do we define ourselves by the brands we wear, the cars we drive, or the houses we live in? How often do we equate material success with personal worth? The Stoics challenge us to break free from this trap, to detach ourselves from the allure of external validation and cultivate a sense of contentment that is independent of our material circumstances. The advice is to cultivate character and intellect over inflating lifestyle. Instead of obsessing over endless accumulation, we should focus on cultivating inner virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These qualities provide a lasting sense of fulfillment that no amount of material wealth can ever provide. And if we are blessed with surplus wealth, the Stoics encourage us to use it ethically, to share our abundance with those in need, rather than hoarding it for ourselves. This act of generosity not only benefits others but also reinforces our own sense of purpose and connection. Possessions provide only fleeting pleasure, but developing inner virtues brings lasting contentment. Therefore, conversations should focus on enriching minds and lives, rather than material objects. The wise tend to understate their wealth and highlight better uses for it, knowing that true fulfillment comes from within and from helping others. Avoid excessive discussion of possessions. Imagine a modern-day Stoic, a successful entrepreneur who lives a simple life, driving an older car, wearing modest clothes, and dedicating a significant portion of their wealth to charitable causes. They don't flaunt their success, but rather use it as a platform for positive change. This is the essence of Stoic wealth, not the accumulation of material goods, but the cultivation of inner virtue and the selfless service of others. The video then transitions to the second point, avoiding excessive discussion of other people's faults and shortcomings. Confine yourself to the present day, Marcus Aurelius advises, reminding us that dwelling on the flaws of others is ultimately unproductive. It consumes our mental energy, fosters negativity, and distracts us from our own path of self-improvement. We are all imperfect beings, navigating the complexities of life, and making mistakes along the way. The Stoics recognized this inherent fallibility and urge us to approach others with empathy and compassion, understanding that their actions are often rooted in past experiences, fears, and misinformation. Today's society often fosters a culture of judgment, where social media becomes a platform for public shaming and online bullying. The Stoics challenge us to resist this temptation, to refrain from harsh condemnations and instead offer understanding and support. Imagine a situation where you witness someone making a mistake, perhaps a colleague who delivers a flawed presentation or a friend who makes a poor decision. The knee-jerk reaction might be to criticize or judge them, but the Stoic approach would be to offer constructive feedback, to help them learn from their mistakes, and to support them in their journey of self-improvement. It's about focusing on solutions rather than dwelling on problems, and about fostering a culture of growth rather than a culture of blame. The Stoics advocate for leading by example, focusing on cultivating wisdom, ethics, and excellence in your own life. Actions speak louder than complaints, and by embodying the virtues we wish to see in others, we inspire them to do the same. Respond with patience and rational persuasion, not reactive anger. The video emphasizes that we exist to support one another in growth and learning. Judging others only highlights your own arrogance. Gossip that exaggerates flaws breeds negative feelings all around. Enlightened discussion of ethics and ways to improve is appropriate among peers, but avoid gossip. It's easy to fall into the trap of judging others, especially when their actions inconvenience or harm us. But the Stoics encourage us to remember our own imperfections and to approach others with humility and understanding. Consider a scenario where someone cuts you off in traffic. The immediate reaction might be anger and frustration, but the Stoic response would be to take a deep breath, remember that everyone makes mistakes, and let it go. It's about controlling our emotional reactions and choosing to respond with reason and compassion, rather than knee-jerk negativity. The third Stoic secret, as introduced in the video, advises against boasting about ambitious plans and desires. As Epictetus wisely stated, do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess. It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have, from the fleeting allure of future aspirations to the tangible gifts of the present moment. To constantly talk about our ambitious plans, to endlessly discuss our future goals, is to risk feeding our ego and setting ourselves up for disappointment. Our original content shares that it's best to keep private any lofty goals or hopes until you have manifested them through disciplined effort, avoiding the feeding of pride. The world is filled with unrealized dreams, with projects that never see the light of day, and with aspirations that wither and die from lack of attention and effort. The Stoics encourage us to keep our goals private, to nurture them in the silence of our own hearts, and to let our actions speak louder than our words. Instead of seeking external validation for our ambitions, we should focus on the internal cultivation of virtue, wisdom, compassion, and inner excellence. These qualities, the Stoics believed, are the true source of joy and fulfillment. Today's society often fosters a culture of self-promotion, where we're encouraged to share our every thought and aspiration on social media, to build our personal brand, and to constantly seek validation from others. The Stoics offer a radical counterpoint to this culture, urging us to cultivate inner strength and self-reliance, to find satisfaction in the process of self-improvement, rather than in the fleeting applause of others. Do not crave external rewards like fame, status, or wealth as ends unto themselves. Focus on living rightly, not seeking applause. Be grateful for the gifts already available in your life and perform humble duties with care. A good life is made of small moral steps more than distant glory. Share plans and offer encouragement to trusted loved ones who support your growth, but resist the wider temptation of vanity. Promising too much courts disappointment for yourself and others. Focus on developing character, contributing good works, and helping others. Let acclaim or possessions arrive unbidden as a natural result of your principles, not as a direct pursuit. The Stoics understood the power of delayed gratification, the importance of prioritizing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Consider a scenario where you're working on a challenging project, perhaps writing a book, starting a business, or pursuing a creative endeavor. The temptation might be to constantly talk about your progress, to share your ideas with others, and to seek their validation. But the Stoic approach would be to keep your focus on the task at hand, to immerse yourself in the process of creation, and to find satisfaction in the quiet act of bringing your vision to life. The fourth secret, as the video highlights, pertains to curbing our discussions of physical pleasures. Epictetus's advice to limit your enjoyment of bodily pleasures so you never depend on them encapsulates this perfectly. It's a call to moderation, a recognition that excessive indulgence in sensual gratifications can lead to dependence, distraction, and ultimately, a diminished sense of self-control. Excessive discussion of appetites magnifies desires, but the wise remain detached from momentary pleasures. Stoicism isn't about denying ourselves pleasure altogether, but about cultivating a healthy relationship with it, about enjoying it in proper measure and not allowing it to consume us. In a society saturated with temptations, from the allure of fast food to the addictive nature of social media, this Stoic principle is more relevant than ever. We're constantly bombarded with messages that encourage us to indulge our desires, to seek instant gratification, and to prioritize pleasure above all else. The Stoics offer a counter-narrative, urging us to cultivate self-discipline, to delay gratification, and to prioritize long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Rather than becoming enthralled by fleeting pleasures, cultivate moderation and self-discipline. Enjoy such pleasures serenely and in proper measure, then carry on with purpose. Devote your vital energy toward developing virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These bring authentic happiness independent of external conditions. Seek to master your desires, rather than become enslaved to them. Control passions and maintain reason's sovereignty. Of course, there are times for light-hearted fun with loved ones, but remain focused overall on higher goals and conduct. Don't trade enduring fulfillment for momentary delights. Aim in your speech to inspire others to live rationally, ethically, and purposefully. Elevate discourse above base appetites. Imagine a scenario where you're faced with a tempting indulgence, perhaps a decadent dessert or an opportunity to binge-watch your favorite TV show. The immediate impulse might be to give in to the temptation, but the Stoic approach would be to pause, reflect on the potential consequences, and make a conscious choice based on your values and goals. It's about exercising self-control, about delaying gratification, and about prioritizing long-term well-being over short-term pleasure. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes not from the pursuit of pleasure, but from the cultivation of virtue. The fifth secret from the video is the importance of not excessively discussing hardships you face. As Marcus Aurelius stated, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Difficulties are inevitable. Instead of constant venting, face them with poise and fortitude. Stoicism recognizes that life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and unexpected hardships. It's not about denying these realities, but about developing the mental resilience to navigate them with grace and fortitude. When hardship arises, avoid fruitless complaining or lamenting. Keep difficulties in perspective and meet trials as opportunities to strengthen virtues. Overcoming challenges builds character and leadership. The Stoics advise against excessive complaining or lamenting to all who will listen, because this often breeds an exaggerated negativity that infects your own mind and those who indulge it. We keep difficulties in perspective, seeing trials as opportunities to demonstrate virtues like courage, justice, patience, and wisdom. Face adversity with poise and dignity. Of course, we ask close confidants for support if truly needed, but mainly handle difficulties rationally without requiring constant consolation. Growth emerges from properly digesting hard lessons, reflecting on each challenge. The Stoics would tell you to persevere mindfully through the darkest nights to witness the coming dawn. Do not be deterred. Practice remaining steady through life's ups and downs, neither inflated by praise nor deflated by blame. You become centered within while storms swirl outside. Face hardships philosophically to grow. In today's society, where social media often becomes a platform for sharing our woes and seeking sympathy from others, this Stoic principle is a powerful reminder of the importance of inner strength and self-reliance. The temptation might be to constantly complain about our problems, to seek validation from others, and to indulge in self-pity. But the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation, to cultivate a sense of inner resilience, and to face our challenges with courage and determination. Imagine a scenario where you experience a significant setback in your life, perhaps losing your job, facing a financial crisis, or dealing with a personal loss. The immediate reaction might be to despair, to feel overwhelmed by the weight of your problems, and to seek comfort in the sympathy of others. But the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the pain, to accept the reality of the situation, and to focus on what you can control. It's about taking action to improve your circumstances, about seeking solutions rather than dwelling on problems, and about maintaining a sense of inner strength even in the face of adversity. The Stoics understood that our character is forged in the crucible of hardship, and that it is through overcoming challenges that we truly grow and evolve. The sixth secret, as the video moves on, is cautioning against excessive boasting about achievements and honors. Seneca's words, "True joy is a victory, not a truce," encapsulate the essence of this principle. Stay humble even amidst great accomplishments. It's about recognizing that success is a journey, not a destination, and that true fulfillment comes not from external validation but from internal growth. Avoid arrogance or pride in your talents and successes. Attribute them partly to assistance from others, good fortune, and blessings of nature rather than your superiority alone. No one achieves in isolation. Fame and wealth may come, but pursue excellence for its own merits, not for status. See external validation as reason for greater responsibility rather than greater pride. Achievements come with obligations to keep using your gifts wisely. Rather than resting on your laurels or being content repeating past glories, keep improving and surpassing yourself. True joy comes from right action, not acclaim. We are to stay focused on cultivating virtue and serving humanity before all else. We have opportunities to lift up our community and make life better for others, not glorify ourselves. Remain a humble student on the path of mastery. Yesterday's victories mean nothing if not built upon. In a society that often equates success with fame and fortune, and where self-promotion is often seen as a necessary tool for advancement, this Stoic principle is a refreshing reminder of the importance of humility and service. The temptation might be to constantly boast about our achievements, to seek recognition from others, and to equate our worth with our accomplishments. But the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation, to cultivate a sense of inner humility, and to recognize that our true value lies not in what we have achieved but in who we have become. Imagine a scenario where you receive a significant award or recognition for your work, perhaps being promoted to a higher position, winning a prestigious prize, or receiving accolades from your peers. The immediate reaction might be to feel proud and to want to share your success with the world. But the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the recognition with gratitude, to remember the contributions of others who helped you along the way, and to use your success as an opportunity to serve others and to make a positive impact on the world. It's about staying grounded, about remaining humble, and about using your achievements as a platform for growth and service. The seventh Stoic secret presented in the video is a strong caution against gossip and rumors. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, resist your tongue's urge to spread tales. Idle talk about others distracts from purpose. Avoid dwelling on petty commentary and speculation regarding people's lives. If a topic does not uplift or truly instruct, it is best not discussed at length. Today's society often fosters a culture of gossip, where social media becomes a breeding ground for rumors, speculation, and negative commentary about others. The temptation might be to participate in these conversations, to share juicy tidbits of information, or to engage in judgmental critiques of others. But the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation, to cultivate a sense of personal responsibility for our words, and to recognize the harm that gossip and rumors can inflict on others. Instead, guide conversations to meaningful subjects like ethics, nature, learning, and ways to contribute value. Inspire excellence. Transparent discussion of concerns and even faults is appropriate to improve your community when necessary, but without needless details to savor scandal. Guide your tongue as well as your ear toward wisdom. The dignity of humanity warrants care in how we relate. Elevate your exchanges, do not wallow in matters unbecoming our shared divinity. Right speech uplifts all. Consider carefully the source, content, and effect of your speech before vocalizing thoughts. The question must be, is it good to say, not just is it true? Gossip breeds distraction from purpose and discontent from exaggerating flaws without remedy. It distracts from living an authentic life by causing conflict. Imagine a scenario where you overhear a conversation about someone else, perhaps a colleague who is being criticized behind their back or a friend who is being gossiped about. The immediate reaction might be to join in the conversation, to share your own opinions, or to simply listen passively. But the Stoic approach would be to disengage from the conversation, to avoid participating in the gossip, and to perhaps even defend the person being discussed. It's about choosing to be a force for good in the world, about using your words to uplift and inspire others, and about refusing to participate in negativity and harmful gossip. The eighth secret is about avoiding excessive lamenting over the unfairness of fate. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Stoicism recognizes that life is inherently unpredictable and that we will inevitably face situations that seem unfair or unjust. The Stoic approach is not to deny the reality of these situations, but to accept them with equanimity and to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Sometimes events do not unfold according to hopes and timing. Dwelling on injustice beyond your control simply breeds more distress. Accept external conditions you cannot dictate. The past is cement. Direct your strength to responding with wisdom and virtue when faced with trials. Look for opportunities to demonstrate principles of courage, justice, temperance, and transcendent purpose. Take right action to improve things within your power, and accept the rest. Practice remaining unperturbed by ups and downs beyond your influence, neither dwelling on bad luck nor taking good fortune personally. In difficulty search for meaning and growth, not just causes to blame. Suffering is part of life. Do not burden others by fixating on unfairness. It is human instinct to want someone to blame, but Stoicism dictates we look inward before outward. Endeavor to remedy injustices, but without resentment over what cannot be altered. Led by facing what comes with poise, good cheer, and determination to shine light. In a society that often encourages us to externalize blame and to see ourselves as victims of circumstance, this Stoic principle is a powerful reminder of the importance of personal responsibility and inner resilience. The temptation might be to constantly complain about our misfortunes, to blame others for our problems, and to feel sorry for ourselves. But the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation, to cultivate a sense of inner strength, and to focus on what we can do to improve our situation, regardless of the circumstances. Imagine a scenario where you experience a setback in your life, perhaps being passed over for a promotion, losing a significant business deal, or suffering a personal loss. The immediate reaction might be to feel angry, resentful, and to blame others for your misfortune. But the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the pain, to accept the reality of the situation, and to focus on what you can learn from the experience. The ninth secret the video discusses is avoiding constant anxious discussion of death and morality. Seneca stated, "Let us prepare our minds as if we come to the very end of life." Stoicism recognizes that death is an inevitable part of the human experience and that it is important to come to terms with our own mortality in order to live a more meaningful life. The Stoic approach is not to dwell on death in a morbid or fearful way, but to accept it as a natural part of the life cycle and to use it as a reminder to make the most of the time we have. Let us postpone nothing. Death hovering nearby gives life focus and priorities. Accept death's uncertainty calmly, it cannot be escaped. Live each day to the fullest as if it were your last. Do not procrastinate expressions of love, immense adventures, and creative joys. Perceive time as precious and fleeting. Be ready to depart gracefully when death arrives, with your affairs in order, relationships mended, and potential fulfilled. Do not cling to life when your season has passed, go to meet the unknown in peace. Take reasonable health precautions and avoid unnecessary dangers, but do not become defined by evading mortality. Creating meaning is found by courageously embracing life, not hiding from death. Remember, death gives context to frame what matters most here and now. The Stoics would have you keep priorities straight by measuring choices in light of time scarcity. Invest this transient existence well, not in constant gloomy talk of mortality. Enjoy fellowship and service with good cheer, come what may. In a society that often tries to deny or ignore death, and where the fear of death can lead to anxiety and unhappiness, this Stoic principle is a valuable reminder of the importance of living in the present moment and of appreciating the gift of life. The temptation might be to constantly worry about death, to avoid thinking about it, or to try to escape it through various distractions. But the Stoics urge us to confront our mortality head-on, to accept it as a natural part of life, and to use it as a motivation to live each day to the fullest. It's about focusing on what we can control, our actions, our values, and our relationships, and about making the most of the time we have, knowing that it is finite. Meaning is found by embracing life, not hiding from death. Finally, the 10th Stoic secret is cautioning against excessive discussion and worrying about the uncertain future. As Marcus Aurelius said, look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. Stoicism recognizes that the future is inherently uncertain and that worrying about it is a waste of time and energy. The Stoic approach is to focus on the present moment, to live each day with purpose and intention, and to trust that by living in accordance with virtue, we will be prepared to face whatever the future may bring. It is natural to think ahead and make reasonable plans, but fixating on controlling future outcomes only breeds anxiety. Instead, keep your mind focused on fully living each day with purpose, wisdom, and service. The present moment is the only time truly within your power. The Stoics' new progress requires meeting each minute mindfully as it comes. Trust that by aligning your character and conduct with timeless virtue, you are prepared to meet whatever the future holds. Staying centered in each moment and do not trouble others with excessive worrying over hypotheticals. In our times, people are worried about what has become of the state of the world with war, famine, and inflation on the rise. But the Stoics would say we can only focus on the present. The future is inevitable. In a society that is often obsessed with planning for the future, and where anxiety about the unknown can be a major source of stress and unhappiness, this Stoic principle is a valuable reminder of the importance of living in the present moment and of trusting in our own ability to handle whatever challenges may come our way. The temptation might be to constantly worry about the future, to try to predict what will happen, and to make elaborate plans to control the outcome. But the Stoics urge us to resist this temptation, to cultivate a sense of inner peace and acceptance, and to focus on living each day with intention and purpose. It's about recognizing that we cannot control the future, but that we can control our own actions and our own responses to whatever life throws our way. The Stoics believe that by living in accordance with virtue, we will be prepared to face whatever challenges may come our way, and that we can find peace and fulfillment in the present moment, regardless of the uncertainties of the future. In conclusion, the 10 Stoic secrets presented here offer a powerful framework for navigating the complexities of modern life with wisdom, resilience, and grace. By guarding our wealth and possessions, refraining from judging others, keeping our ambitions private, moderating our pleasures, facing hardships with fortitude, remaining humble in our achievements, avoiding gossip and rumors, accepting the unfairness of fate, embracing death and mortality, and focusing on the present moment, we can cultivate a life of meaning, purpose, and inner peace. These principles, though ancient, remain profoundly relevant in today's world, offering a path to true fulfillment in a society that often equates happiness with external validation and material success. In the original video, the host expressed gratitude to viewers for staying until the end, inviting Stoic discussions in the comments, and encouraging likes, subscriptions, and bell notifications for more content. Remember that the Stoic path is a journey, not a destination, and that by embracing these principles, we can all strive to become more virtuous, more resilient, and more fulfilled human beings. As the video concludes, may you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways, embracing the wisdom of silence and the power of inner strength. By following these secrets, you too can live a prosperous and meaningful life.